Good morning. Good morning. I just fetched my piping hot coffee. 10 meters later, it's iced coffee. That's the beauty of the most cold, or the coldest day of this year here in South Africa. Yeah, what a day. It's such a beautiful day. And so welcome. Thank you for being with us this morning. I see there's a couple of people saying hi in the comments already. Thank you for that, or in the chat. Whether you're here on YouTube or over on LinkedIn, please say hi and, connect and chat to everybody that's here. If you're watching the recording, welcome. Awesome to have you with us as well. And you're welcome to leave any thoughts and opinions in the comments down below as well. More than welcome to do that. All right, so this morning I'm going to talk about the power of technology to deliver on client and advisor expectations. This is based on a talk that I did yesterday at a conference, and I thought, why not share it today on the show as well? I think it was extremely valuable and helpful and insightful as well. It's looking a lot to the future, and also what do clients need or want, and what do advisors need and want, and then how do we bring these two things together? How do we optimize those two journeys, and a couple of other things. So really also getting into what technology is and what it isn't. Which I think is important, because we've got to start there. So I'm going to share that with you this morning. But before I do, we have to first hear what's going on in the news in the financial world here in South Africa and abroad. And to do that this morning, we have Mr. David Kopp. And David is from the Financial Planning Institute, and looking forward to hearing what David has to share with us this morning. So let's go over to the news studio. But maybe before I do that, like always, let me just quickly say good morning to Quibus. Good morning, Quibus. Yes, it's the best place to work from or watch the show from this morning, particularly. Good morning, Razan. And we've got Tracy. Good morning. Very nice to see you. 3 PROpulsion Pro members in first. Thank you so much. Mr. Terence Tobin. TGIF, my friend, TGIF. Albert, good morning. Nice to see you. Yes, it's cold after 10 seconds. I got to have a sip now when David is talking. Muhammad, good morning. Nice to see you. Herman Lou, goeiemorgen. Julie, another PROpulsion Pro member. Good morning. Awesome to see you. Sorry for looking down. I've got a presentation open here in front of me that I want to share with you later on. So, Mario, good morning. Nice to see you as well. Neil, it's been a while. Welcome. Ek wil nie eens weet hoe koud dit is in Kroonstad nie. Adam Reineke, goeiemorgen. Adam, nog 'n PROpulsion Pro member. Welcome. And Jaco Roots, good morning and welcome. Also a PROpulsion Pro member. Awesome to have you all with us this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, so I just took up 3 minutes of our time. Let's head on over to the news studio and hear what David has for us this morning.
Good morning, everyone. And if it's the coldest day, then hopefully from here on in, it's going to warm up. So let's start with the Reserve Bank announcement from yesterday. So the Reserve Bank has left the repo rate unchanged at 3.5%. And with a debt-to-income ratio of 75% for most South Africans, this is a welcome relief for South Africans with debt. So the domestic economy grew by 4.6% in the first quarter of 2021. Which was better than expected of the 2.7% from the May meeting. However, there's better sectorial growth performances and robust trade, as well as commodity prices remaining high, which sustained income despite high oil prices. However, they did caution the recent unrest and economic damage could in fact have lasting impacts on investor confidence and job creation. And they estimate the unrest to have fully negated better growth results for the year. Headline inflation for 2021 is expected to be 4.3% and revised to 4.4% in 2022 and about 4.5% in 2023, with the core inflation being 2.9% in 2021, going up to about 4.5% in 2023. So although things do seem under control, there is an expectation that inflation is going to go up, and believe that we will start seeing interest rate hikes from quarter 4 and as well as in 2022. The FSCA has also released a statement on Sastria. So they noted with concern the civil unrest from riots and looting that has been happening in various parts of the country. At this stage, the extent of the damage suffered is still not confirmed and will be confirmed when claims come in. However, the FSCA has reached out to Sastria, who has confirmed if there is a valid policy in place, they will be admitting the claims and looking at the claims. So Sastria policyholders need to submit their claims directly to the insurers, who will then engage with Sastria on the terms. Then from an international news and in line with the theme today, as reported on ifamagazine.com, a new survey of 250 banking and financial services companies has revealed their focus on technology investment over the next 12 months. So a survey done by Yoberta has revealed that at least 65% of the survey participants are looking at increasing their spend in technology over the coming year, as well as diversifying the technology that they use. Then for your dinner party conversations, spoon-fed is a 9-letter word, and it is the longest English word with the letters rearranged in the reverse alphabetical order, according to the Guinness World Record. So spoon-fed, we know, is feeding with the spoon or providing information in such a way that you not need to think for yourself. That is the longest word that can be spelt in reverse order alphabetically. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a great weekend, everyone.
Great stuff, David. Thank you very much. That is interesting. Yeah, it's amazing what people come up with when they start looking at words and things. You know, yeah, the longest word that's backwards in terms of the alphabet. It's amazing stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you so much. We look forward to next week as well, and have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, but most importantly, stay warm, and we'll see you back next week.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Francois.
Great stuff. There we go. All right, so with that, let's head on over to Norma, as we always do. And today, I'm not so sure what she's going to be talking about, but I heard rumors she's talking about uncertainty. So let's do that and hear what Norma has to share with us this morning.
Good morning. And yes, I'll be talking about uncertainty today. I think it's also very relevant to what's happening in our country at the moment and people being very uncertain. So the word uncertainty is really very self-explanatory. Tony Robbins talks about uncertainty, and which makes me laugh a bit about it, because he says that when uncertainty happens in our life and we like that uncertainty, we call it surprises. But when uncertainty happens in our life that we don't like, we call that problems. And I can certainly relate to that, and I'm sure you can too. I found a quote while doing research for today, and it's a quote by Bruce Lee, which basically what I want to say in 5 minutes, he sums up perfectly in one sentence. He says, when fear comes from uncertainty, we can eliminate the fear within us when we know ourselves better. So as always, I think uncertainty is an opportunity for us, if it triggers something within us, to go inwards and look where there's areas where we can grow and learn from it. So we have uncertainty on a daily basis, and sometimes we get it on a smaller scale and sometimes we get it in big doses. So, and it really just reveals what is inside of us. So when we, for instance, worry about the small things on a daily basis, it just magnifies when big events happen and where there's a lot of uncertainty. So my worry about small things is then like 10 times that worry. Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs, and I just want to touch on 2 of those needs, or 2 of those 6 human needs today. So the first one is certainty, and the second one is uncertainty. So when we talk about certainty, we use words like safety or comfort or protected or having stability. And when we talk about uncertainty, we use words like variety or things being different, change, or the unknown. So all individuals are different, so we meet these needs differently. So for one person to meet the need of certainty, he might want to retire with 100 million. where someone else might meet the need for certainty by retiring and relying on a government grant. For some, to meet the need for uncertainty, they might jump out of an aeroplane with a parachute, while someone else might meet the need for uncertainty by watching a series of his favorite Netflix. So those are all positive ways that we can meet the need. And then there's negative ways that we can also meet this need. So a negative way of meeting the need for certainty can be trying to control people. How we can meet the need in a negative way for uncertainty, we can maybe take drugs or alcohol or smoking that really changes our state and change the way we feel. So people also rank these needs differently. So for some people, their top need is to have certainty in their life. And then for other people, their top need might be to have things changing all the time, or being uncertain, or having variety in their life. So we can also see that in the world and how that shows up, because in times of uncertainty, some people are completely paralyzed by the uncertainty, while others thrive in that environment and they really operate in their life as if nothing happened. So how is this relevant to you? How can you use this information? So I think sometimes we make certainty the hero in our lives and uncertainty the villain. So if we have these false securities or these false certainties, so we think that we can control people, or we can think we control our environment or control our outcomes, but really it's just an illusion. We can't control any of those things because it's sort of something external. And also then with uncertainty, we sometimes feel overwhelmed and feel that we have no power because of uncertainty. But what I want to offer is to look at what can we feel certain about. So what is the real certainty in certainty, and what is certainty in uncertainty? So I'm just going to mention a couple of things. So we have control and power over what we think and feel. So if we think a certain way, it's going to create us to feel a certain way, and then it's going to drive us to take a certain action. So we have control of how we show up in the world. We can also see situations for what it is, and we don't have to see it better than it is, and we don't have to see it worse than it is. So we don't have to be positive Polly all the time, or we don't need to think that if something happens, it's going to be the end of the world. We can also believe in ourselves and have certainty in that. And that if we look at our past, for instance, that we've always figured it out. We've always found a way of overcoming an obstacle or challenges or difficulties that we had in our life. So we can have certainty in that. It brings me to another point, that we can use maybe skills that we have, or a personality trait, or maybe talents that we have to find security. So if I am in a situation where there's a lot of uncertainty, I can maybe use my humor to relieve the situation, or I can use my resourcefulness in a situation where I'm very uncertain, or I can use my problem-solving skills to find relief. Then giving to others and having gratitude is all in my control. So when things are uncertain and difficult for me, when I look towards other people and trying to contribute to humanity, it gives my brain something to focus on and makes me think less of what I don't have and what's wrong in my life. And then also the gratitude side of it. We all can find in difficult times those little things that we know will always be there, and we can be grateful for them, that we're blessed with, really. And then lastly, just to seek things that gives us certainty, and that really is sort of encompasses everything I've said, is to look inwards. So we need to sort of see in ourselves what is certain. So it is our values, it's our strengths, it's the way that we show up in the world, it's our intellectual property, for instance, that can never be taken away from us, which is certain. And then also looking at things like habits or rituals or routines that we have that can give us certainty. So in the morning, I have, for instance, a spiritual practice that I know I can do every morning, doesn't matter what's happening around me. Or I can still take my dog for a walk, or I can still have a cup of tea watching the sunset. Those are the type of things that can give me real certainty at the end. So just to close off, Byron Katie talks in her book, Loving What Is, about my business, staying in my business, other people's business being their business, and then the rest is God's business. So I found that in times of uncertainty and times where I feel I have this urge to maybe control, to think of these things. So staying in my business, meaning that I can control only what I have the power to control, which is really what is on my inside, my internal environment, that other people's business are their business. So they have agency over their life, and what they do or what they don't do is really up to them. And then all the rest and everything else that happens is really God's business. So I hope I've given you something to think about, and I hope you find it valuable. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk again next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Norma. I literally got goosebumps. It's not of the cold because it's hot now in here, thanks to the aircon. But that was an amazing things that you shared this morning. So thank you so much. And I look forward to having you back next week. Not sure if you go out and practice in this weather. If you do, then you really are in women. But yeah, all the best. Have a good weekend. Stay safe and stay warm. And we'll see you back next week.
Thank you, and goodbye to everyone. Have a good weekend.
Fantastic. Cheers, Norma. All right, so with that, we get to the, almost getting to the main topic for today, which is going to be about the power of technology to deliver on client and advisor expectations, which is quite a long title, I know, but that's why just on the thumbnail just says exceeding expectations. But really, how do we use technology to do that? Before I get into that, just a couple of things that I very, very quickly want to share with you. The LinkedIn challenge is ending today over on PROpulsion Pro. So it's been a journey, 20 days in total. We had the first 10-day LinkedIn challenge in June and then now in July. And really excited to see what happens from here on. I had plenty of members that took part in that. So that's ending. And I'm really excited about next month's challenge that's coming up, and that's going to be it's going to be a 5-day communication skill challenge, and we're really going to tackle some interesting topics. We'll share a little bit more about that. So for members, you can look forward to that, and you can just join whenever we make it available on PROpulsion Pro on the platform. If you're not a member, you can also join. There will be a fee for that. Or alternative, you can become a member if you want to take full benefit of that and upcoming other challenges and programs and CPD events and things that we have. So you're more than welcome to check that out. Then just again, the speaker and influencer program, I will be sending out more information on Monday. We've had quite a few registrations already for the 2022 program. And so please look out for that. There will be an email, there will be a WhatsApp as always. So we also want to encourage you that if you know of someone that you feel will get a lot of value from working on their public speaking skills and want to go through a program like this, for them to register their interest over on propulsion.co.za/speaker, and we can then get in touch with them once we start evaluating all the applications. There's only place for 15 men, 15 women, so we're very hard on that split and that. And then the last thing, talking about women, is that obviously August is upon us, and you'll remember that last year we did the Women's Month. We only had women as guests for the show, and I'm going to do exactly that again. But what I am going to do is because back then we had, I think it was 2 episodes a week. So we had I think we had 8 women on the show. Now we only do once a week. So what I'm going to do is have 2 women at least on a show that I'm going to interview, and also some panel discussions. So really looking forward. One that's already been confirmed is the power ladies from the FBI themselves. So we've got quite a few of them. There's 4 of them that we're going to have on the show. Going to have a bit of a panel discussion with them, and really looking forward to that. And then, busy putting some of the others in place. So some interesting guests that I've lined up that I just need to close, So, so looking forward to that. So please, join us on a Friday during August for all of that, and come and celebrate the awesomeness that is women. And let's hear what they have to say and their message, and how do they see the future and where we're going, and what would make the world a better place, I guess. So with that, that's about the announcements that I have this morning. Just thank you very much for being here on this Gold Friday morning. I deeply appreciate it. But without any further ado, let's head on over and start with today's feature topic. Whoopsie, just hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. All right, so I'm going to use some slides because I think there are certain things that you would want to see as well as I'm talking about it, because there's quite a lot of information that I want to convey to you this morning, and therefore I thought let me use the slides that I used during the talk, and this is meant to sort of just give you something to maybe take notes on and really go and think about this in your business. And this is, I think, the most powerful thing that you could do is take one thing from all, I don't know how many shows we've done, and implement that in your business. I've had some really awesome messages of people saying, you know what, I did this and I took that from that specific episode. I implement, this is what happened. And that's what makes the difference. You can watch all 140 or 50 episodes that we've got, but unless you take some of it and go and learn to do it, get comfortable with doing it, implement it in your business, and really take it from there and build from there, it's not really going to change anything. It was a bit of entertainment in the morning. So I really want to implore you to take what we talk about, because I'm really giving my heart and soul to you in this show. I'm sharing every single thing that I know and that I learn. We get guests on here to come and share what they know and what they've learned, and really take it and make it your own, make it part of your practice. That's my call to action this morning for you. So please do that. And if you want, go check out the episode where I spoke to you, Anita Foster, about staying in the helicopter, because you need a helicopter today to start doing this kind of stuff. So go and listen to what she and I spoke about on that episode. Right, but when we talk about technology, you know that this is one of the biggest passions of mine in my life. It's not, like if you read things like my bio and so forth, I don't talk a lot about technology, that this is my big passion, but I would say it's probably my biggest passion, apart from braai and food and those kind of things. But I try not to remind my wife too much that technology is such a huge part of my life, because the poor woman. There's more technology in this house than there's nice art and things. So trying to change that now. But technology is sort of a passion of mine, and it's something that I follow. It's something that I believe in. It's something that I embrace in my business. And it's something that I see make a difference over and over and over again in businesses. It is obviously the future, and there's a lot of people still going like, we don't do technology, or you believe that you were born 1000 BC, before computers. So you just, that's not for me. Like I can never do this. I can't. And I think all of this starts with mindset. Like anything else, like if you want to change your business, if you want to start a business, if you want to change your health, if you want to, everything starts with a mindset and a decision, I guess. So the same with technology. There is no such thing. I can give you example after example after example of people that are part of PROpulsion Pro, that have gone through the 30-day video challenge, that have done the speaker and influencer program, that when they share their stories with me afterwards, and they say, you don't know how I felt going through this. But a couple of things. The thing that I went through it with someone that's feeling exactly the same as me made the world of difference. And because we did it step by step, you made it manageable. And that's what it's about. But they took the challenge. Their mindset was one of, I have to do this. There's no more choice. I have to embrace this. And that's where everything starts. And you're welcome to share in the comments and the chat and all of that. What do you believe about that? And also, if you are embracing technology, like what does it mean to you? And if you don't embrace technology, why not? Like share that. Let's have a conversation around this. But I want to start off with, particularly, if I think about what technology is and what it isn't, I think this is a very important place to really start. So the first thing is that technology is definitely not a replacement for anything that you and I do. It is not a replacement. It is not something that is going to, we implement technology because we want to get rid of people in our business. That's not the idea. It is not there that, but if I do that, then clients won't need me anymore because they can just do everything on my website, and I don't want that. I'm not in control, etc., etc. So it is not, let me be clear, technology is not a replacement. What technology really is, it's complementary So it works with you. It is your partner. It is like an amazing silent partner, I would say, almost in your business. So it is not a replacement. It works alongside you. It walks next to you. It makes a lot of things possible. So technology is complementary to your business. It's complementary to you. It's complementary to your value proposition. It's complementary to your client. It just makes things better. It just do that. It's also not a solution. A lot of people are thinking like, oh, I have this problem. I need technology to solve this for me. No, technology is not a solution. Technology is not a solution. What technology is it is an enabler. It is just a tool. It is just something that makes something else possible. It is, like the engine in a car, like that engine sits there, and what it does is it makes it possible for you to drive from point A to point B. But unless you drive the car, unless you change the gears, unless you put petrol in the tank, unless you actually push the start button or turn the key, you ain't going nowhere. So the only thing that technology does is it enables you to do something in different ways. Just like a car will get you from here to wherever you want to go a lot quicker than walking or cycling or anything like that. It's exactly what technology does. So it is an enabler. It is not the solution at the end of the day. It's also not your value proposition. The fact that you are, for instance, you offer virtual ways of working with you. The fact that you've automated a lot of stuff. All of that stuff is not your value proposition. It's not your value proposition. But what it is an enhancement to your value proposition. It is what makes your value proposition works better. It is what makes it easy for people to do business with you. It is just what gives options to clients. It makes that people can deal with you at times when maybe you're asleep or maybe you're on vacation or maybe, whatever your circumstances may be. So it is not the value proposition to say that we are fully digital and we do this. That's awesome, but it is not your value proposition. We've got to be clear about that. As I said, technology is not a replacement. It's not a solution. It's not a value proposition. Those three things absolutely go together. But it is an enhancement. It makes everything so much better for you and for the client. So important to think about technology in that way as well. It's definitely not difficult to embrace technology. Absolutely not. A lot of people, as I said before, will come with the thing that I was born before computers. I'm sorry, like this does not work for me. I'm not interested. It's difficult. I'm too old. And it's just, I've seen the movies, no, I don't trust the machines. No, we got to get away from that. It's not difficult to embrace technology. It is not. What it is it's a world of new possibilities. It opens up things that you can do that you could never do before in ways that you were never able to do them before. That's what technology is. So if you think about this new, we're all looking for new opportunities, new possibilities, new ways of doing things better and faster and with less mistakes. Then why are we not embracing technology if that is exactly what it brings? I think the thing is that we dislike going through that sort of period of change. For some it's hard because we've been doing things for such a long time in the same way that, we don't want to change. Or we feel like, you know what, I'm 65, I don't care anymore. Like, it is what it is. I'm going to retire in 5 years anyway. But that's not the mindset. And it's not only 65 years old that has this mindset. There are also people that possibly, I don't know, come from places where technology just like wasn't available, it wasn't there, and they don't believe in it. And that's fine. But the reality is that it's not difficult to embrace and learn technology. I worked with he's unfortunately passed away already, but at 65, he taught himself to program. And I think I've spoken about Umvidi here on the show. And Umvidi, when I met him, was 83. And he was doing programming from his house in Henneman in the Free State for a company in Los Angeles. At 83, and he taught himself that at the age of 65. And he was a chain smoker. Not the band, like the actual chain smoker. So that's what he did. But he said to me, Francois, there's one thing that I want to tell you is like, you've got to learn something new every day. That is what keeps you young. It's what keeps you moving forward. And I'll never, ever, ever forget that. So it's the same with technology. For a lot of people, they feel that, you know what, technology is a distraction. It's not. It could be, but I mean, you and I are in control of how we use this technology. So definitely something to consider, but it's not a distraction. What it is it actually brings focus. I'm going to share some things as we go along, like why am I saying that this is bringing focus? But if you employ technology in the right way, it brings focus. It does not distract. It makes everything work better. And then the biggest thing, I've spoken about this several times on the show, is that if you have this thing, you look at it that, oh, that's too expensive, that's too expensive, that's too expensive. Then we're looking at it from it's an expense point of view. It's money that I need to give away to get something that I don't see any value in because I don't embrace technology. You know, I don't want it to replace me. I can't see that it's a solution, you know, that kind of thing. Where, in fact, if you really think about it, if technology is complementary and it enables you to do things you were never able to do before, or it enables business, it creates, you know, new possibilities and opportunities. It's an enhancement to what you do. It makes it better, and it brings focus. I mean, that sounds to me like something that will make me money. And if something makes me money, it means that it's an investment. It is not an expense. So again, as you can see, all of these things that I've spoken about right now, about what technology is and isn't, is that line in the middle is really a mindset. So you either play on the left or you play on the right, and that's a decision that you can make. And everybody started somewhere with technology. I know that we joke that, you know, babies are born with tablets in their hands and they just know these things. No, it's because they play with it. Then they get to know it, and things are so easy to use that they are able to use it. So then what's your and my excuse? Like, why don't we learn? Why don't we play and just learn and just, you know, do what babies do? I think that's a great place to start. All right, so there's really two journeys in the main, if we look at it. On the one hand, and it's not like first this one and then secondly that one. This is really just a case of there are two journeys that I want to look at today. The first one is the advice journey, or maybe from the advisor's point of view. The other one is from a customer journey point of view, and what the customer experience and expects, etc., etc. Because both of us have needs. If you're a financial planner, there's needs in your business, and if you're a client, there's needs that you have, and there's these two journeys, and technology plays a huge role in both. And we need to see, like, you know, how do these things come together? So the first one is, like, I want to talk about what do clients want? What is it that's important to them? What is it that they are after? And specifically in today's world, because things have really changed, right? We all know that. So I'm not going to get into how things have changed in the last year and a half. But you know that it did. And it's really advanced things quite a bit. But the first thing that clients want is they want ease. There's so much going on, so much information, so much choice. But they're looking for ease. They're looking for least resistance. I think, you know, if you think about how many of you are now meeting with clients virtually, and those clients don't want to meet with you in any other way, there will always be a portion that will go like, no, I want to see your face. I want to look you in the eye, and, you know, I want to see your eyeballs and your body language and all of that. But a big part of your client base is going like, I can't believe I drove an hour, spent an hour, drove an hour back. Like, I can't believe I never did it this way. And it's because it's so much easier. It saves time. So that's the big thing. The other thing that they're definitely looking for is choice. And not just choice in terms of, oh, for this I use that person, and for that I use that. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about choice is like how to engage with you as a financial planner. Like, don't force me down a channel that I have to do this. Give me options. Let me choose, you know, what works best for me. So they want choice in how do they transact, how do they communicate, how do they collaborate, how do they engage with you. Choice, like how do they do that? And then I'm going to talk a little bit later about how do we bring these two journeys together and how do we optimize them. The other thing, obviously, now with things being all over the place, you know, is security and confidentiality. That's definitely, they want to know that the information is safe. They want to know that nobody knows their stuff. It's only it stays in your business. So that's extremely important because the more we move online, the more risk there is of being hacked and, you know, that kind of stuff. So definitely they want to know that there's security and confidentiality. And this is the big thing. And I feel like, you know, there's many people who still don't get what this means. And there's software providers who don't get what this means. There are, like, I don't know. I don't know, like there's many different stakeholders in our profession that still don't get what it means when I talk about collaboration and engagement, because this is what clients want. Remember in the past when we had meetings with clients, you would sit there, you'd ask questions and the client would answer and all of that. But when it got to the advice part, after the client has answered all your questions, it basically became a one-way conversation. Like you were saying, this is what I saw, this is what I saw, this is what we need to do, blah, blah, blah. And then somewhere at the end, we'll say, you know what do you want to do? And then that fatal response that comes back, for some people, it's like, it's the most amazing response. But for me, it was like a fatal one. They go like, Francois, I don't know, you the expert, you the specialist, you tell me what to do. And that should ring huge alarm bells. And that happens often, like more often than not. Now, when you're truly collaborating and engaging, because what do we mean by engagement? Engagement is two-way communication. It means that we are discussing. It means that I'm mentally actually involved. I'm taking part in what we're doing. So you really want to focus on that. And if somebody's really engaged and they're really building their own plan, all you and I are doing is we're just guiding them to put the blocks in the right place. But they are essentially coming up with their own answers. Yes, we may do calculations. Yes, we may give figures and things like that, maybe as part of that conversation. But I think as far as the client is concerned, is they don't care so much. They just want to know, like, what does it look like? What could it look like? What do I need to do to get there? What behaviors are necessary? You know, what if things go wrong? What do I do? You know, like, how do we guide them? How do we help them make better decisions? That's collaboration and engagement. So it's long gone the time where we just explain things to them and say that you have option A, B, or C, which one you want. I don't know. You tell me, okay, go for option A. And that's definitely moving at a rapid pace at this point in time. They're looking for simplicity. You know, you and I need to know the complexities and all the detail and everything. Like, we need to consider all of it, because we can't throw the technical out just because things have moved towards more the softer side, more the human side of things. We still need to consider the technical, but we don't need to discuss the technical necessarily with the client unless they are also into that, and like very few of them would be. So simplicity, how do we make it simple? Again, go back to ease and choice. You know, all of that brings simplicity if we do it in the right way. They want one port of call. They want to come to you and they want to be able, it doesn't mean that you need to do every single thing, but as far as financial planning and their financial life is concerned, they want to talk or work with one business or one financial planner that can make sure that everything else happens. So we become this, conductor to make sure that the symphony really works for them. They're looking for guidance and advice. And a lot of this, I think the trick lies in asking the right questions, letting them talk and think through, because by doing that, we're equipping them, we're educating them in the process. And then, you know, once they've made that decision, they are committed more than ever to that, because they're looking for guidance and advice. They're not looking for a product. They're not looking for, you know, saving for retirement. What they really want to do is design a life that they really want once they retire. And maybe they don't even want to wait that long. Maybe they want that life right now. And how do we help them get that? And then the biggest thing, I think, of all, like it would always be, is trust, because that's what they want. And specifically in a virtual world, we need to build trust continuously, and there's many ways of doing that. But this is sort of what clients are looking for. You're welcome to add anything you want in the chats or in the comments. You know, if there's anything that you think about in terms of that clients would also want that maybe I haven't covered. So why the baby? I think that summarizes that clients just want to, you know, sleep like a baby. That's all they want to do. So hence why I've got this cute little baby here on the screen, is just to sort of illustrate that, you know what, this is what it's about. How do we offer peace of mind? How do we let people sleep well at night and make sure that they can eat well and all of those things? So this is where things are headed. This is what they want. If we look at advisors on the other side, like, what do advisors want? Well, like always, time with clients. And we've lost so much time thanks to FASE since 2004, I would say, because of all the compliance. And just naturally, as there were more regulation and more things to do and more bases to cover, we just got more involved in admin. And then now that's what we do. So 70% of the day, 80% of the day goes towards admin and preparation and things like that. And only 20% of time is probably, if you're lucky, spent with clients. And there are some advisors that have really set up their business for others to take care of those things, and they are actually spending 80% of their time with clients and not 20%. And you can see the massive difference, because this is where we create value. This is where we deliver value. This is where we generate revenue. It's time with clients. Not following up on medicals, not following up on invoices, not, what's happening in the markets. No, having real conversations with clients. And for that, you need time. Consistency. Predictability. Those are the things that advisors want. Things must just always work in the same manner, in the same fashion, because that reduces a lot of risk if we can do it that way. So consistency is really something that everybody's after. Maybe you haven't thought of it as consistency. Maybe you haven't articulated it as such, but consistency is still something that is extremely important. So I just want to say that you're getting the enhanced value today, because yesterday this talk was only 20 minutes. So I didn't say as much. So just say that you're getting added value this morning. And then deep insights, which is very important. If you really want to make great decisions in your business, you need data and then you need insights. And really, how do we get that? Where do we get it? Do we rely on others to deliver this data and these insights to us, or do we build our own data and our own insights that is relevant to our business, and then maybe take that and go and compare it to the industry or the profession, or all the planners in my town or my province or whatever that may be? Something that we definitely after, and we need this if we want time with clients, is efficiency. And there's so much opportunity in any practice to create efficiency. You're never as efficient. You may think that you're efficient, but if you really let somebody look at it with you, you will find that there's many things that you're doing that is unnecessary and that can be cut to become more efficient. But then also there's a lot of things that we do over and over and over and over again that could be automated and that could be replaced by software or a computer, or even, there's many things. So efficiency is definitely something that advisors want. And then productivity. And again, you see, if you think about consistency, efficiency, productivity, all of those things create time with clients. But it doesn't just create time with clients, it will create quality time with clients. And that's really what we're after. So we need these things, and we need to become more efficient every week. We need to become more productive every week. And also, those things would have different definitions for you and what that means for you, and how does it fit into your lifestyle and how you want to do things. And here's the big kicker for me. If you really think about what do you share with your friends or with colleagues or anybody that you have a conversation with, apart from, I guess, talking about what's happening at the moment and those kind of things, is when you had that amazing experience that it just blew your mind, and it's this memorable thing that you are, it was so awesome that you have to share it, like you've never experienced something like this before. That's really what we're after. And how do we create that memorable experience for a client, specifically in a virtual world? It was easy I think, in person to create memorable experiences and be a little bit different from anybody else. But if everybody's using Zoom or Teams, how do you make that memorable? And how do you make it easy? Think about what the client wants, that ease, that simplicity, that choice, all of that stuff. I'm not even talking about how you deliver that meeting and how you run that meeting and what happens before, during, and after all of that. But how do we create a memorable experience for somebody, and on an ongoing basis, not only as a once-off for new clients, but how do we do it on an ongoing basis? We just wow clients, and they keep on talking about us and sending people to us in that way. And then sustainability, obviously, because we can build the most wonderful business, but at the end of the day, if we don't do it in a sustainable way, then it doesn't really help that we do anything. So we always got to think about, can we keep this up long term? And that's why you don't want to go too fast, too quick. You really want to build it up and have a plan and a strategy and phase things into your business. And then at the end of the day, any advisor wants more opportunities. So I don't know if I'm missing anything. You're welcome to share your thoughts in the comments. I'll get to the comments right at the end. But that's what I believe advisors want and need at this point in time. And it's going to be like this, both what I've shared for advisors and clients, going to be there for the foreseeable future. It is just going to evolve as we move along, but it will always be in the vein of these things. So how do we optimize this journey? Well, first thing is like, we were taught, and we always talk about it, and we think about it in this way, that I need to create a value proposition where one size fits all. So it means that value proposition is maybe so wide and so vast that whoever we need to help with the type of clients we work with, they will fit somewhere in there. But it means that everybody's sort of getting the same experience. A lot of advisors believe that every single client should get the same treatment, the same service, the same advice. But we really should start eliminating one size fits all. So you should be very clear on who you work with, what you do for them, how you solve their problems, just what you offer to them. But then within that, you need to be able to customize things a little bit. And the only real way to do that, I believe, is through technology, because then you can automate some of those things. So very important about that. So just think about, if you, just for example, if you offer clients a million different ways of how they could, how often they want you to review them. I mean, how are you going to manage that without technology? There's no way you're going to be able to, this client I need to see every month, that one every quarter, this one every 6 months, and these once a year. And, how do you manage that without technology? So that's just a very, very simple example. But this one size fits all mentality and idea is something that we actually need to start eliminating and looking at, what do our clients want? How do I offer them that choice that they are after? Because if I offer one size fits all, there's no choice. And I would dare to say that it might not be that easy to do business with you and I. So that's important. Utilize your client knowledge. Use what you know about your clients and their problems and their situations. You sit with a lot of data and insights in terms of what you see and hear and deal with every single day in terms of your entire client base. And you can start breaking them down with my business owners here, and even business owners that work in manufacturing, business owners that's just maybe in professional services. There's things that you're going to see that they need, and you can use that knowledge to take your one size fits all and break it down a little bit, but still have a one size fits all maybe for professionals and a one size fits all for business owners, etc., etc. But the overall, that doesn't matter who you are in my business, you get the same. I think we need to move away from that. The other thing is to consistently ask clients. Now, I know, there was a couple of you that last year when we did that survey episode where we talked about how to create surveys, etc., you went out and you did surveys with your clients, and the insights that you gained from that was invaluable. And it actually helped you make decisions to implement things into your business that you have today that you wouldn't have been able to do unless you knew that from clients. So we have to consistently do that. You can't just ask them once and for the next 10 years you do what you do. Like at least every year you've got to ask them. Or if you're thinking about doing something new with a specific segment in your business, then ask them, is this a need? You don't even have to tell them, I'm considering this. You can just have a conversation with them, and you can do it in many different ways. When you choose technology, because this is the thing, we've always talked about this new thing about technology stacks where you take the best of breed for different things. The one problem is that there are so many different tools out there and different software. And every time you think, now I found the one. And then tomorrow there's a new one that comes up, and then you're going to go, now I go there. And at the end of the day, you sit with 10, 20 things that you're using in your business, but these things are not talking to one another. You start maintaining multiple systems and doing things like that. So what is extremely important when it comes to different technologies, you should be looking at what it is that's available and how you want to use it. But I think you need to take a step back and say, what problem am I trying to solve? What is my problem? What is my frustration? What is the blocker in my business? And then from that point say, okay, what solutions are available to solve that? Can the system I have help me solve that? And the only way you'll know is to really speak to the software provider that you use. And then secondly, to say, no, okay, they can't help me. What other solutions are available? And then what's very important is that whatever solution you then implement should, as far and as much as possible, tightly integrate with your main solution. Because what you really want is one source of truth, one set where the main data of the client resides. And then you must be able, through integration, to be able to pull and push information between the two systems. So what that means is, let's just say you have some weird and funky planning tool and you have your CRM. You want that to to be able to pull information from the CRM, and once it's done its thing, also push information back to the CRM. So that's what I mean with two-way integration. So that's an extremely important thing to consider. Offer choice. That's important. Clients want choice. Make it easy for them. Offer them choice of how they want to communicate with you. If they want to use WhatsApp, let them use WhatsApp. If they want to use, I don't know, anything else, if they want to use Zoom or Teams or anything like that, offer them choice. That's important. Then build proper processes. Again, we all have processes. It's in our heads. It's what we do every single day. But not all of it is usually documented. And the other problem, if it's not documented, it's also definitely not been loaded on your system to be able to drive the whole process through your technology. And that would be definitely something to consider. And as a starting, we want to start with anything, start doing that. And then obviously, I think the biggest thing that has made the biggest impact on my business and that has opened up a lot of time for me is automation. If you think about when you go and register for an event, you go there, I just send out a link, you go, you click, it takes payments, it registers you on Zoom, it sends you the link, it puts you in the system, it's like everything happens automatically. And one of these days, like we're working on it, it's even going to issue you your invoice. I don't have to do that manually anymore. So all of it is automated. All of those things it's the same steps over and over and over again. All of that can be automated, and the time it saves you is just absolutely incredible. And there's like unlimited amounts of unlimited scenarios in your business that can be automated. And then obviously you need suitable tool sets, as I said earlier. So go back, look at the problem that you're trying to solve, then start looking for tools. Don't go out looking for what is available, because everything's going to look like the latest, greatest, and most shiniest thing you've ever seen. You need to understand what you're trying to solve, how you're trying to solve it. Remember, one of the things that I always say about technology on the show is that your business, the technology must fit your business. You mustn't change your business to fit the technology, because then you're going to break it. So you don't want to do that. So what is the role of digital in the new world? Well, it elevates relationships. When we do it right, we use it right, it makes our relationships better. It doesn't take away from face-to-face. It does not replace face-to-face. We were built for that. But absolutely, it elevates relationships. And when you make things easier, you offer choice, all the things that clients want, and you deliver it in a consistent way via technology, it must elevate the relationship. It creates efficiencies. I think we all know that. We get to spend more time with clients because we are more efficient, because there's so much that we automated. Our staff can spend more time with clients, talking to clients, building relationships instead of doing paperwork. And then if we do all of that, we increase our revenue as well. And because things are so consistent, there's less things falling through the cracks. We approach clients in a consistent manner. We have a process. We considerably reduce our advice risk. And when we do all of these things, guess what happens? You have an enhanced client experience. So that's the role of digital in the new world. And then, like, where are things moving to? Well, you sort of had traditional distribution, and then, like, where are we headed to? In traditional distribution, we were very transaction focused, right? And we've already been moving away from this for a very long time, but slowly. There's still a lot of advisors still stuck on the transaction, but things are moving. This is where we were. We're not going to stay there. We also only gathered enough information to be able to conclude that transaction, to make a recommendation, and to get the client to take action. So it was a very narrow focus. It was like a lot of single needs kind of stuff. And that will always be the case, because clients also, I just have this problem, just solve this one problem for me. So that's not necessarily going to change. But that was the traditional way of doing it, and it's been working like that for so many years. But with, I believe, things are going is that obviously advice-led, advice-focused, more focusing on the person and what they're trying to achieve, and not focus so much on their money and what they need to spend. That's where things are going to be at. We're going to move from a limited understanding to absolute deep understanding, and getting more into the psychology of people and really seeing that. And you know this, like Hinter Crawford, who's part of the show, who's part of PROpulsion Pro, he talks a lot about this. There's a lot of people in South Africa talking about this. What you call it, financial coaching, financial therapy, whatever you want to call it, but there's a much bigger shift towards the person and away from their money. Money is just, again, money is almost like technology. It is that enabler. It is what makes things possible from that point. So a deep understanding is absolutely going to be required. And you're not going to find deep understanding in one meeting or one conversation. It is going to be built up over time for each of your clients. So this holistic focus, how do we help them manage and navigate their entire financial lives? And that's a journey. It's not a meeting. It's not seeing someone and say, I need to look at all 5 of these areas for you. No, it's a journey. And over time, we look at everything and we see how everything is interconnected and how things are sort of working together and how they impact one another. And all of this is going to be enabled through, or a lot of it, let me say, not all of it, but a lot of it is going to be enabled through technology. So that is it. I don't know, let me quickly run over to the comments and see what everyone is saying. So good stuff. I'll say more, Johan. So Johan is saying -8°C Karoo. Gee whiz, that's cold. Good morning, Gemotso. Nice to see you. So let me quickly see. Tracy, I embrace technology, keeps us connected, makes work easier, reduce time spent on manual things, helps in efficiency, help in keeping records and compare the past and present easier. Absolutely. Yeah, Ben, yeah, sorry, we had that discussion in the week. It is really, really, I don't think there's a profession that plays a more important role than us at this point in time. This whole COVID thing is real. Also, like, I've got a friend in ICU at the moment. Another friend of mine is also sick. His wife, not good. I've heard some horror stories, so it's definitely real. Great stuff, Kevin. Great role model. Great stuff. Quibus, COVID is a blessing in disguise for us to embrace technology and enhance our client engagement and experience. Yeah, because we have to. And this is the other thing that we need to realize is that, you know what, you can still decide that computers and technology is not for me, but it's going to leave you behind. Things have moved, things have changed, and we can either move with it or stay behind. So I absolutely agree with that. Herman, I believe it is about continuous learning and improving, co-creating, moving to the next level of effectiveness and efficiency. Absolutely. There you go. Ignu, Hendrik Crawford does awesome work in terms of financial coaching, hosts monthly conversations as well. Awesome to see you here, my friend. You can Google Crawford's coaching. Yes, absolutely. The community does know. They do know Hendrik. He's very involved here and all of that. An amazing guy. So definitely. Alrighty, with that is the end for today. Thank you very much for joining us. And remember, August is going to be a celebration of our women in South Africa and globally and what they bring to the profession, but also how can we, what is their view of the future and important. And then one last thing that I actually forgot to mention this morning when we started was that the Financial Planning Summit, I see that the registrations went out. It's now live. You can purchase your tickets. I think it's 500 Rand a ticket, 575 with VAT. But I will send out some more information on that as well and also give you more information in next week's show. But registrations are open. Last year was a fantastic, fantastic event, and you're more than welcome to go and check that out. It's hosted by the same guys that do the investment management conference and all of those things. So, with that, I think that is the end for me. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay warm, stay safe. I'm definitely going to have a braai a couple of times this weekend to the dismay of my family. But you know what? A man's got to live. So with that, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for being us here live. I deeply appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And go check out PROpulsion Pro. And then lastly remember, raise the bar.